Humans wonder. They ponder the meaning of life, they ask ultimate questions, and they live in the light of them. That's the human story. It's been happening for millennia, it's happening today. And religious freedom is the protection of that human aspiration to understand and to live accordingly. There's nothing more human than that. And in that freedom actually is true diversity, because that freedom accommodates actual difference. People who actually disagree, who actually have different views on ultimate purpose and meaning, who actually do live differently to each other. Our own High Court has said freedom of religion, the paradigm freedom of conscience, is the essence of a free society. And there's something in that, because there's countless societies around our world and in history that have had limited religious freedom, and none of them have been good places to live. So religious freedom is good. It's the hallmark of a free society, it's the hallmark of diversity, it's the hallmark of human rights. And I'm grateful to live in Australia, where freedom of religion has long been a key principle of our democracy. But my support for the particular aims of this bill, the Religious Discrimination Bill 2019, is grounded in a more practical concern. In 2016, myself and some others started a law firm, or it is now a law firm, the Human Rights Law Alliance, designed to give legal support to those who need it for living out their faith. And I remember saying to a colleague at the time that actually it's the first business model I've had anything to do with that entails failure being success, because we don't want that to be a need. Unfortunately, that firm has gone from strength to strength and has had dozens and dozens of cases. I'll give you a couple of examples today. There is, for example, Anthony, a university student who had peers that shared things with him from time to time because he's a personable guy, and one of the things he used to do with their permission was pray for them. Anthony had a complaint against him from a young lady who he prayed for with her permission because she was struggling with depression. The university, as a result of talking to Anthony, ended up suspending him for a period of 6 months pending review, ended up saying that he would have to be involved in fortnightly counselling classes to learn how to interact with his peers, ended up saying that he would not be able to speak about his religion openly on campus, and he had discipline recorded on his academic record. I didn't believe that either when I heard about it, but it was true when we investigated. Or Melissa, a medical doctor with 40 years of experience. She's a leader in her field, which covers gender and sexuality issues. She's a Christian. She was asked to speak in some Christian schools about these concerns. She gave those talks, which were rigorously academic, but which were also Christian in worldview. Somebody saw those talks, stalked her for a while, assaulted her in her local shops, but also reported her to a university where she had an academic status and a professional body with which she had an accreditation. She lost that accreditation. The university, with substantial legal support for her, preserved her academic status, but not without a stern warning. Or Chris and Mary are foster parents. They applied to be respite carers for foster children under the age of 6. Now, they went through the foster agency's selection programs and they passed with flying colours, and the relationship was great. They fully expected to be enrolled in that program until they had to do one more workshop, which was about sexual orientation, gender identity issues. And as Christians, they filled out that workshop as best they could, and there was nothing particularly controversial about it as Christian people. But of course they said, well, this workshop was completely irrelevant, and it was in its terms, to children under the age of 6. However, they received a decision notice off the back of that they had failed the criteria of creating a safe home environment for children, and they would decline the right to be foster parents. Another is Andrew, who is a professional who relies on accreditation for his livelihood and career. He's a political conservative and a Christian. And a relevant qualifying body started an investigation against Andrew without him ever knowing about it. It went on for a period of months, and he didn't find out until they wrote to him to say that his professional accreditation had been cancelled and that he would have just a mere matter of days to make an answer to a tribunal to try and defend it. He failed. His livelihood is now at threat. These are not the most grievous examples. These are relatively normal examples. These are examples that this bill could help to protect. And I remember saying when we were embroiled in the Israel Folau issue, it's great that we've got someone who's famous who is suffering in this way, but actually what Israel Folau did was high-level conduct compared to what most of our clients usually do. It's usually far less controversial than that. And protecting religious freedom is a good thing because it sends a message to every bureaucrat, to every politician who has accrued a little bit of power to themselves, that they cannot simply finish people. They can't ruin their careers and do harm to them simply because they don't like what they have said. And we speak consistently with people who work in government departments, people who work in institutions, people who work under the supervision of qualifying bodies, and they say they're concerned about their future because their beliefs are not welcome in the workplace, and their concerns are usually substantive in nature. They have some reason for feeling that way. It's not just imagined. That sense is rising, not shrinking. And of course, I personally have an interest in this bill because I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ, sin, salvation, judgment, eternal hope, evangelism, and all the pillars of my conviction, and I seek to live consistent with them. I am one of those people I described at the start who wonders, thinks, and lives. These are my life. They always will be, and I don't think that anybody should ever be discriminated against for that simple fact. Thank you.